and welcome to this episode of Batavia Spotlight, where we get to know more about our community organizations and their businesses here and around Batavia. Our guest today is Kevin Drendel from the law firm Drendel and Janssens, and thank you so much for being with us, Kevin.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about your firm?
Sure. Our roots go back to my father, who began practicing law in 1961 in Aurora. And we moved to Batavia in 1969 as a family. Okay. But he kept his practice in Aurora. He was with the Reed Oxenschlager Murphy and Hupp firm, which was the largest firm outside of Chicago at the time. Mm-hmm. And he left that firm with 3 other guys in 1981, and I joined the firm in 1989 as a law student doing summer clerking. And then 1991, when I passed the bar, became an attorney with the firm. And that firm broke up in 1994 and moved up to Batavia. So our roots go back in Batavia to 1994.
Right now, can you tell us about the kinds of things that you handle within your firm? What are the branches of law that you specialize in now?
Well, we don't do everything. We have about 4 focuses and lots of little branches that branch off from that. The major focus in terms of volume is family law, which was what my father did, and 3 of the attorneys in the office do family law, which would be divorce, adoption, guardianship, custody, support, those types of things. Mm-hmm. Another focus is estate planning and business. We represent many dozens of businesses locally. And the estate planning kind of goes hand in hand. That's kind of the personal side, although you don't have to have a business to do estate planning. Right. And then we have a municipal focus. So my father started representing North Aurora in 1967. We still represent them. We represent Batavia. So we represent the 2 communities that we have footprints in. Mm-hmm. We actually were the firm that did the legislation for IMSA back when IMSA started, and we represented IMSA for 15 years or something like that. So
IMSA is the Illinois Mathematics and Science Academy in Aurora.
Right.
And it is a showpiece for the educational system.
Right. Rich Horowitz drafted the legislation. He passed away from cancer about the time I joined the firm.
That must have been a very unique and challenging thing to do, because it is a unique entity within the system, and so you had to get something that made sense legally and made sense as far as the structure of state government.
Yeah, it is not part of the public school system.
Right.
And it's not a private school. It is a publicly supported school, but because it's not part of the public school system, they can draw from people like Leon Letterman from Fermilab, who doesn't have a teaching certificate.
I didn't realize that.
But who obviously is an invaluable asset to a place like IMSA, where you're trying to train the brightest.
Absolutely. Now, I know your firm has had numerous awards and recognitions. Can you tell us about some of those?
I knew you were going to ask that question.
You brought your cheat sheet.
I did, because I don't want to miss anyone. So,
excellent.
Well, I'll start with myself. I was second in my law school class. I was an editor of the Law Review. I have a published article in the Northern Illinois University Law Journal. I was the local King County Bar Association president in 2002, 2003, and I currently have an AV rating with Martindale-Hubbell, which probably means nothing to anyone other than attorneys, but it's the oldest attorney rating system rated by peers and by clients anonymously, mm-hmm. and only about 1% of the attorneys in the country have an AV rating. So I'm just going to hit the highlights.
Okay.
Mark Brent in our office, who's practiced about as long as I have, recently became a member of the National Association of Distinguished Counsel, which, again, probably doesn't mean anything to anyone other than attorneys, mm-hmm. But about less than 1% of the attorneys in the country are members. So.
Wow.
a pretty rare distinction. He's been asked to write a chapter on family law to attorneys, a treatise for attorneys, which is published, and then he was asked to write a book for clients, which is published. And he just received this year the Kane County Bar Foundation Pro Bono Award, which is given out to one attorney every year for their provision of legal services to people that can't afford them. Carolyn Janssens was 7th in her law school class. She was the first outstanding new lawyer for the Kane County Bar Association in 2005, which is when they started giving out that award. She last year was named top 100 family law attorneys in Illinois by the American Academy of Legal Advocates. Again, a group that nobody cares about much, but we do because it means something. And she'll actually be the Kane County Bar Association president in 2 years. She's the secretary-treasurer right now. Roman Seckel was first in his college class at St. Norbert's, interned with Senator Peter Fitzgerald, received the Lincoln Award for Writing from the Illinois State Bar Association in 2007, was the outstanding new lawyer in Kane County in 2010, and just recently, within the last month, was named top 10 under 40 lawyers by the Illinois National Academy in Illinois, by the National Academy of Family Law Attorneys.
Excellent.
Larry Lobb was the outstanding new lawyer in Kane County in 2011.
Good. Following in the pattern.
Yes. And he has been on the Kane County Bar Association board since 2012 and will be the president next year. So we're going to have back-to-back presidents from our firm.
Yeah.
And finally, Tyler Stevenson, who's our newest associate, graduated magna cum laude from Florida State with a degree in finance. He was magna cum laude in law school and was an Army Ranger who attained the rank of sergeant and led 2 deployments in Afghanistan.
A multi-talented person, and certainly thank him for his service to the country.
Absolutely.
That's phenomenal. Now, when somebody's looking for a lawyer, what should they look for?
Well, you don't necessarily want what you see on television.
Okay.
Attorneys, I think, are misunderstood in terms of what we do, and the slick attorney that is always in court is not necessarily the picture of what attorneys do, and it's not necessarily the picture of the kind of attorney that you want. You really want someone who has a breadth of experience in the area of law that you're looking for, and not just experience, but has a good reputation. That's highly a really important thing is that you get someone with a good reputation. You want someone who's going to work hard. You want someone who's going to listen to you, and someone that you can communicate with and will communicate with you. The number one complaint that people have about attorneys is they don't communicate. They don't tell me what's going on. So those are some keys. Okay.
How can somebody contact you to learn more about your firm or to see if perhaps your firm is a firm that can help them in their situation or in their area of need?
Well, we have a website. It's www.batavialaw.com. Our number is 630-406-5440, and those would be 2 ways. You can contact us through the website. We have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page. You can type in, search our name, and you'll find us.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about law and your firm and the kind of things that we can expect when we go looking for a lawyer.
Thank you.
And now we'll take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Tom Wangler, president of Confident Air. Regular maintenance can prolong the life of your furnace and keep your energy costs to a minimum. Plus, there's less of a chance of a breakdown on a cold winter night. Your furnace needs proper care and attention to keep it running smoothly, so you don't end up paying too much for heating during the cold winter months, or worse yet, with deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. We recommend an annual inspection to ensure safe operation. Confident Air, your trusted home comfort professionals since 1992.
The Drendel & Janssens Law Group has practiced law in Aurora since 1961 and in Batavia since 1994.
We focus our energy on representing people and businesses and families in the local community.
We represent clients in Kane and surrounding counties in matters ranging from divorce to wills, business law to zoning. We focus our efforts on planning and working towards positive resolutions for businesses and families.
When clients need someone to fight for their interests, we're ready, willing, and able to act as aggressive advocates to protect their interests.
Trendle and Jansen's Law Group with offices in Batavia and Aurora and located on the web at batavialaw.com.
The Kane County Chronicle is your best source for news and information in print and online in the Tri-Cities and Caneland.
This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
Downtown Batavia, always moving by nature. Recreation. Nature. The arts. Specialty shops. Restaurants and services. Downtown is everyone's neighborhood. Come, celebrate. Meet friends. Unwind.
See you downtown.
Our next guest is Joanne Smith, who's the president of the Friends of the Batavia Library. Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting us. We rarely pass up an opportunity to promote the Friends.
Okay, so tell us about the Friends. For people that might not know about the Friends, tell us about that.
Okay, well, I'll start with a little history.
Okay.
The present group is actually the third iteration of a Friends of the Library group in Batavia. The first one was started in 1946.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know how long it lasted, but we do know that the second one was started in 1975.
Okay.
And that, I think, lasted through probably the late 80s. Mm-hmm. And the current iteration started in 1991. So this is
a long history.
This is the third iteration. And basically, the Friends of the Library is a group that is in existence to promote and support the Batavia Public Library.
So what are some of the things that the Friends do for the library?
Okay, well, the Friends actually can be defined, I think, by our used book sale.
Okay.
And we have a used book sale every month except June. We take a little vacation in June. And it's the first Saturday of the month, except in July and August, when it's the second Saturday.
Okay.
And it's held in what's called the Friends Space, which is on the lower level of the library. And it's from 9:10 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And patrons can come in and shop our shelves and purchase books. Hardcover books are $1. Paperback books are 50 cents. Children's books tend to be anywhere between 25 cents and 50 cents. And all of our books are donated. So we have just a wonderfully generous community who continues to support us through their donations. I'll tell you an interesting story about donations, if you want. Back in late 2004, so we're going back a little bit.
Yes.
I was actually looking through a box of books, and we always kind of looked through them to look for first editions or signed copies, things that we thought we might be able to sell online for a little bit more money. And I found a book, Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand's very famous book. Opened it to the title page and saw first edition, first printing.
Ooh.
And I thought, whoa, dust jacket, perfect.
Wow.
And then I thought to myself, now somebody wrote in this book, doggone it. And I looked more carefully, and it said Ayn Rand.
Oh.
And I thought, well, now somebody wrote the author's name in this book.
Yes.
But then I kept looking at it again, and I thought, I wonder. So I went online, and I Googled Ayn Rand's signature. Turns out that it was a signed copy, first edition, first printing. We didn't know. So then I looked it up online to see its value, and it was coming in anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000. And I was thinking, whoa! So another board member at the time, Barbara Palmer, got us in touch with an auction house out in San Francisco. We sold that book at auction for $6,500.
Oh my goodness!
I know. So that was that was pretty exciting.
A lovely contribution to the library.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
So currently, though, our books, I'll just take you real quickly through like the life cycle of a donated
Please
book.
do.
So books come in, and the first thing I think everyone has to know is that the library staff actually has first dibs.
Only fair.
Absolutely fair. So they look through them and they determine whether or not any of the books are of high enough quality and books that are needed for their actual library shelves. So let's see, I have some notes here. Last year, as a result of that, 565 books were placed on the shelves and 231 AV items.
So those are things that the library didn't have to buy.
Or needed replacing.
Right, but the library didn't have to buy them.
Absolutely.
They were able to get them through donation.
Right.
And what they wanted.
Okay, right. Then after they look through and we get them, we scan them for, again, valuable books. Some of them are put online through Amazon. The rest of them are put on our shelves. They probably have a life cycle of about 3 sales on our shelves. And then we try to do other things with them. We have an agreement with a company called Better World Books, who will take many of the books that aren't selling for us. We don't get a whole lot from them, but we get some money from them. And then oftentimes we'll get requests for, we had a request from Art Van Furniture to buy a bunch of our books. They didn't care which ones, they just wanted to put them on some bookshelves in their display area, so we do that. And then we have a corner books, what we call the corner book sale.
I love that
one.
I love that one.
Everyone seems to love that. That's located right across from the circulation desk.
Yes.
And it's available whenever the library is open. So oftentimes the books will go up there. We'll, we'll try again to. So I like to say we're very persistent with our donations. We try our best to sell them. We respect the donations that we get, and we try to do the best we can with them.
Well, for people that haven't been to the sale, I know that one of the comments that somebody has made at the sale was they really appreciated that the books are well organized. You get the books that you are interested in finding, and you're able to find them because they're very well categorized and sorted. So it's not like you're going through shelf after shelf of books that you don't have any interest in.
Right. We have volunteers who do that on a weekly basis. They go through boxes and boxes of books. They, first of all, scan them for valuable books, and then they sort them. And so all our nonfiction books are categorized, by categories like history and literature and cookbooks. And our fiction is organized by alpha.
Great. If people want to volunteer, how do they go about volunteering for this?
Okay, a couple of ways. You can go online. You can go to our website, which is www.bataviapubliclibrary.org/friends.
Okay.
And we have our own little website there. And there is a PDF version that's downloadable of our application form if you want to join us, which we're always looking for new members. Or you can send us an email at friends@bataviapubliclibrary.org, and somebody will for sure get back to you and explain all the volunteer opportunities.
So it's a good way to support the community and meet some great people and get a look at a lot of those books at the book sale.
That's right.
Sounds wonderful. And now we'll take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment, and thank you so much for telling us about the Friends. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tom Wangler, President of Confident Air. Regular maintenance can prolong the life of your furnace and keep your energy costs to a minimum. Plus, there's less of a chance of a breakdown on a cold winter night. Your furnace needs proper care and attention to keep it running smoothly, so you don't end up paying too much for heating during the cold winter months, or worse yet, with deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. We recommend an annual inspection to ensure safe operation. Confident Air, your trusted home comfort professionals since 1992.
The Drendel and Jansen's Law Group has practiced law in Aurora since 1961 and in Batavia since 1994.
We focus our energy on representing people and businesses and families in the local community.
We represent clients in Keene and surrounding counties in matters ranging from divorce to wills, business law to zoning.
We focus our efforts on planning and working towards positive resolutions for businesses and families.
When clients need someone to fight for their interests, we're ready, willing, and able to act as aggressive advocates to protect their interests.
Trendle & Jansen's Law Group with offices in Batavia and Aurora and located on the web at batavialaw.com.
The King County Chronicle is your best source for news and information in print and online in the Tri-Cities and Caneland.
This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
Downtown Batavia, always moving by nature. Recreation. Nature. The arts. Specialty shops. Restaurants and services. Downtown is everyone's neighborhood. Come, celebrate. Meet friends. Unwind.
See you downtown.
Our final guest is Eric Lindstrom, who's a specialty travel agent for Disney Vacations. Eric, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me again, Ellen.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a little bit about the Disney Vacations?
Disney, as everybody knows, built a park out in California in 1955, and it took off like gangbusters. So much so he built a second park in Florida, and that's now 4 parks. And there's a cruise line and parks in Paris and Hong Kong and Tokyo, and Shanghai's coming soon. So you can go just about anywhere and visit a Disney park now.
It sounds wonderful. How in the world did you get started in this very special niche?
Well, actually, I've been involved in a lot of sales positions in my life. Never had been a travel agent before. My wife had gone to Disney World as a kid. I never had. Actually, she had been to Disneyland also. I never had, but when our daughter had turned 4, we went for my first time also. And all I needed to do was see them react to being there, and I immediately understood what all the hubbub was about. And 2.5 years later, I found an agency that was looking for people who weren't trained as travel agents, who were Disney fans that wanted to plan vacations. And I said, that sounds like a great job for me.
So now, is there special certifications or trainings that you go through in order to do this?
Yeah, Disney sends us through what they call the College of Disney Knowledge.
College of Disney Knowledge.
Exactly. It's an online course. I've got my certificate from there in 2013. And there's ongoing training that we have access to. We actually also do on-site training.
Oh boy!
I got to go train at Disney World. It's pretty nice, and got to go tour a cruise ship. I mean, it's a hard job, really.
It's a tough job. Somebody has to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it allows us to learn as travel professionals what things they're changing, what things they're building, and what things ultimately my clients are going to want to do when they go on these vacations.
So now, to use you as a specialty agent, as opposed to using a general agent or doing it on yourself online, what are some of the advantages to this?
Well, first and foremost, if you went to the Disney World website and booked your own trip versus calling me and having me book the identical trip, it's the exact same price.
Okay.
My services in that sense are free. Disney would pay somebody in a call center versus paying me instead. But in the end, it's the same price booking it yourself versus having somebody else do it. And in that regards, I like to think of myself as somebody who can help oversee and think of the things that people don't necessarily think of when they're planning. I look out for discounts because if a discount comes along later, we can always apply it if it's available. So, when you lock in on a reservation, that's not necessarily to say a better deal might not come along that you can get later.
Oh, so that's good to know.
Well, people worry about booking too early, and it's really not possible to book too early.
Good to know.
So.
Excellent. When should people start to plan?
Well, with Disney World now, with a lot of the things that they've done with advanced reservations, you can book a restaurant for dinner 6 months in advance, or as anybody in the industry or big Disney fans know, 180 days is the magic number. So I like to tell people at least 190 days out. It would be a great time to be planned. Now, of course, I've had people call me and say, I want to go to Disney next week, and I'm like, I can do that. I just have to let them know that there's going to be things that won't be available. A lot of the reservations won't, because certain, especially the character restaurants where you can eat with Mickey Mouse or the princesses, those things will book pretty fast.
How fast is pretty fast?
The most popular restaurants will be gone within the first week of that 180 days.
So you really there's a lot of advantages to booking significantly in advance.
Yeah, and you can book those restaurants. I mean, people will be up first thing in the morning. Now, everything's based on Eastern time. So for us, it's 5 in the morning. You can do it online. So that's one of the things I do for my clients is I'm up at 5 in the morning if I have to.
You're a good agent.
Well, it goes with the territory. I mean, I get to plan people's dream vacations. I mean, how fun is that?
That's fun. How young is too young?
That's a question I get asked a lot because people worry about taking the kids and the kids won't remember the trip. Well, the first thing I tell them, well, the kids are free at Disney World until they turn 3 years old. So they don't need a park ticket.
Really?
Yeah, they don't cost anything to get into the parks when they're under 3 years old. So there's that advantage. And I tell people, if you think you're going to go multiple times and you're asking whether or not taking a 2-year-old's fine, you can do it and save some money, and there's going to be lots of great pictures. And I mean, those early trips when they're young are more for the parents than they are for the kids.
Good pictures. And
especially if they bring the grandparents with, then those are the best pictures, are the 3-generation pictures. But,
absolutely.
And then the other break. It comes when they turn 10 years old. So now at Disney World, for example, whatever age you are on the day you check in is the age you are for the whole trip. So if the second day of your trip, you've got a 9-year-old that turns 10, they're still 9 as far as the price goes.
A good point.
So a lot of people like to celebrate that 10th birthday.
Sounds like a good way to do it. So what are some of the tech changes? What's the high-tech stuff going on?
Well, they've added in-park Wi-Fi mainly because they have an app that you can use that's linked to what they call their My Disney Experience website. And if you've ever opened an account with Disney, any Disney company, whether it's ABC, Disney, ESPN, Disney Store, you have a Disney account. You log into the My Disney Experience account. That's where you can book. That's where you would link your reservations to, your dining, your hotel, your park tickets, and then eventually now your fast passes. It used to be. It used to be when you went to the park, you could go and get a fast pass for a ride, and you run to the park, through the park, and get your paper fast passes to come back at a later time for a ride. Now you can book those, actually, if you're staying in a Disney hotel, which they've got about 28 of them now. You can book those 60 days in advance, or 30 days if you're not staying on Disney property.
Great. So how can people find out more? How can people contact you?
The easiest way, I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook.
If you go to facebook.com/mousevacations.
Mouse
plural.
Vacations.
That would be my Facebook page, or you can email me, Eric L, and that's ERIKL at destinationorlandoetc.com. Or you can always call me, 630-525-1122.
Excellent, and I wore my Mickey Mouse watch just for you.
Well, me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this segment, and please join us again for our next segment. And thank you for tuning in to Batavia Spotlight. Remember, you can watch us on Comcast Channel 17, AT&T U-verse Channel 99, or on our website, www.mybatv.com. I'm your host, Ellen Huxtable. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us at 630-937-5413 or email us at info@mybatv.com. Have a wonderful day.